crayon and oil pastels.
Mhm.
I've worked in oils a little bit.
Yeah. So I was surprised how colorful they were, so I might try to do it again, but maybe something more realistic and not in the non-objective kind of subject.
Linda, I just want to ask, I mean, I like it very much. Did you find anything new as an artist in doing it? Were you aware of any different thought processes or?
I liked what happened, and I might still work on it, is that I'd like those lines to be sketchier or fuzzier instead of so precise. I'd like to get out of my, everything's got to be just perfect kind of thing.
Wiggle them.
Yeah. And I learned that the oil pastels can be quite colorful, which I didn't know they could be so fluorescent looking if you mix them and add them on canvas. So that's good. Yeah, Sue?
I liked the position of the painting when the tubes were falling down from the gold. It had
I see. Yeah.
like a ton of movement for me. Like,
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
very nice.
I see
Very
that.
nice.
Yeah, when you look at something so long, sometimes you make these creative decisions and you don't know why.
Yeah.
Now that I see, you look at something and when somebody else points something out to you, it's very helpful. Does anybody else want to go next?
Go next.
Okay, Nancy, can everybody mute themselves in the upper right-hand corner, and we'll let Nancy go for it. Then we'll give her the first third degree.
Please do. Okay,
I know
here,
this is going to be interesting.
here's the original, and this is where I did the crop. Can you see it? And so then I did this one, and that's the one you chose last week for my number 1. Okay, are you all sitting down? I don't hear you, Linda. Anyway, so you can see that Creative License took over.
I'm going to unmute myself a little to ask some questions. What kind of things did you end up using? Line, shape, giving you Creative License?
I would say that I had fun with the line, and I used to, I did a lot of starting and erasing and shaping, and I let it kind of evolve, each of them. They were very different, obviously.
Okay, so you did 2 of them from 2 different boxes in your drawing?
No, they're both from the same box.
Really?
You see this curving part here?
Mm-hmm.
They both have that, which was here.
Uh-huh.
And you see the lines here? They became these lines and those lines. So I guess I worked mostly in line and value. And
You got color going.
and the colors. But I like where they took me. They kind of just took me away into some little land of
Yeah, they're very amorphous as opposed to, was the room had a lot of geometric shapes to it and you softened a lot of those shapes?
Well, this was the couch, the arm of the couch
Oh, yeah.
cushion.
Yeah, I can see that now, yeah.
So here you see again.
Oh, yeah. What mediums did you use? Or
I used
medium?
just color, just pencil and colored pencil.
Hmm.
Like like Deb asked me, did you get anything from it or, learn?
Once I got started, it was fun to add and subtract things and let it take me somewhere, like this upper corner here, to take me up and over the edge. And it got very playful for me. And then this one was more of a challenge about movement of light and having it reflect on that
Yeah,
swirly.
move it a little to your right. There we go. And up a little. There we go. Cool. All right, Nancy, do you have anything else you want to say before we can all bombard you with
This is
questions?
not brand new for me. Where I got the shapes from is new, but I think just taking off of abstracts drawings, sometimes I do that.
I was going to say, most of your work just come out of your head
All
instead
of it
of,
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that hard. Okay, everybody want to unmute and ask Nancy any questions?
Nancy, I want to say it's lovely and playful. So that is part of your style anyway, to be playful, but I still love the way that you move the colors and the shapes.
Thank you.
Just very nice.
Yes.
Nancy, if you join us next time, is there a way you can get us to be whimsical?
I
Is there a
actually
way to develop that whimsy that,
will, I will think about that and try to get back to you on that, because I had a friend once who said my work was for children. And I said, no, that wasn't right. He said, I did children art. But I had to think about it. And what I came up with it was whimsical reality.
Yeah.
So that's my work, is whimsical reality. And I will think about that, because the whole thing has to, and this is how I teach art, is to how to let go and not get hemmed in with the rules, but just, and that's why I teach from different perspectives, so that we can't hold on to those rules and just play.
yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
I'm envious. I'm envious of your work.
Well, it's evolved over time. Thank you.
Did you know Picasso, he was so realistic at such a young age. Then when he got older, he painted more like a child on purpose to break the rules.
Yeah. Well, I've always had problems with being in the lines, and this is typical of that, because it started with my travel diaries when I actually was up in Alaska, and I did sketches on my travels, not at looking at something, but thinking about the day. And all of a sudden, the borders, I always tagged in, did a hatch to start the painting, but by the end of the painting, the borders had dissolved into part of the design. And I think that's deeper than that, because it has to do with coming out of the box, not worrying about those things.
Oh, does anybody have any more questions from Nancy? Maybe she can lead us into some of that next time. Does anybody else want to go next?
I just wanted to
Go ahead.
comment one more time, Nancy. I love the idea that when you were out traveling, that you did the work as a memory.
Always, yeah.
So not standing, because I end up standing, I stand in front of.
Sometimes when I go to Mexico, people say, oh, draw me bougainvillea, or draw me this, or draw me something Mexican. And I freeze, because I can render it and you'll know what it is, but there's no energy. There's no life in it at all. So that's an interesting point, yeah.
It's also nice when you're stuck to look back on that, to pick something from all that. When you're, when you have the brain freeze, what do they call, writer's block, artist block?
Well, it's one part of my memoir is about that evolution to letting go and seeing where it takes you. It takes you to a different place, which is really enjoyable. It's fun.
Okay, good. Deb, do you want to go next?
Sure.
Can everybody mute themselves in the upper right? And then we will unmute when we have any questions for Deb.
So I started with a corner of my porch, and I chose this square here.
Deb, have you ever done something like this before?
I have a long time ago, and I enjoy it as a kind of a freeing.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Wow.
That is cool. Oh,
and then
Oh, beautiful.
so I just really enjoyed doing this. Someone had said last week that it reminded me of music, and I really went with that. So along with trying to do, I worked just in secondary colors, and I did some opaque and some translucent. But I also,
Beautiful.
I don't know if you can see the musical notes, but I also just kind of played with the theme of music. So a lot of lines, and with just also the way music makes me feel and learn. So I really enjoyed working on it. I put more time into it than I would have. You want me to turn it?
does it work every way?
Yeah, the music is sideways. It's not really meant to be read, so. Yeah.
I have no sound. Nope.
So what medium, you got collage in there and,
I actually also challenged myself because I haven't worked with gouache in a long, long time because I had bad experiences with it. So I worked sometimes
Are
with
we
gouache. I
muted?
used
I
some
can't
watercolor
hear you.
inks and then just straight watercolor.
is somebody not muted and there's some music in the
It's
background?
Sandy.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. and so-
I thought if I just kept my mouth shut, that would be muting. I guess not.
I also worked with some Prismacolor so that I could do some resist with it.
Oh, where is that? Where is that?
Let's see. So there are, I have to hold it right, sorry, this way so I can remember where it's. So there's lines. You can see it more, obviously closer, but you can see all the lines.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
So you
down
really-
in this purple section, that is a combination of Prismacolor and painted color.
okay. So you got line, color, value, visual texture in there, or pattern, whichever you'd like to
Yes,
call
ma'am.
it, and all those different elements. So you good with the process? Does you get like, somebody had asked, did you learn, oh, that you asked, did you learn anything from it, or?
So I learned, I mean, and I like, I feel like I learned a lot by limiting my palette. It just pushes me, in a different direction. So it was interesting that the colors that I pulled out is like, I love this kind of color.
Yeah,
I love warm color, but I see, pretty cool, like bits of cool color and bits of opaque. How just having some balance,
cool.
not balance, but counterplay is more than balance. So I think I have done a couple abstract pieces. What do you call it? Abstract?
Non-representative, that's my, or non-objective. And the reason I call it that instead of abstract, because I think of abstract as you could actually see maybe a face in there, you could see something. I might be wrong, but
Yeah, I don't know what
abstract
you
is when
call
you
it
take a subject and you distort it. This was supposed to not look like anything. So, and it's good when everybody talks, if they also talk about anything that didn't work for them, because that's a learning process too.
Right.
All right, everybody can unmute and bombard Deb with questions.
Deb, so you use more than one kind of medium?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I know that was the collage, but
Linda, could you add resist to next session? The idea of resist?
Okay, that makes it 20 weeks, but I will.
It could be one of the combination choices. But it's a whole different world, like the negative. It could work into the negative space one.
Okay. Anybody else questions for Deb?
I just want to say that was really nice. The way that it makes
Yeah,
meeting
I like it.
Oh, I enjoyed it very much. I loved the variations in it.
I love the color scheme and the shine it got and the, not colors I would normally use.
Me either. So I will in the future though.
Mm.
But also to switch the theme went from the backyard porch toys to music.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like.
that gave me another idea, Nan. Is there anybody else that'd like to go next, or?
I'd like to just comment on the last one, which I thought that all of those different lines were so exciting. The swirly, swirly, swirly on the, up there in the middle, and just so many, the variation online is just really nice for me. I liked it.
Thank you.
Any of the new people want to go? Barbara, Marion, Joyce? Who said that? Oh, Barbara?
Yep.
Okay, can everybody mute themselves in the upper right-hand corner while Barbara talks? And sometimes when you're stuck, I'm not muting because I like to talk. Sorry, guys.
All right, so this was, can you see this? This was my picture of my kitchen corner, and this was the square that I used. I
Remember
started doing primary colors, and I really did not like it. It was too bright, and I really wanted to do a lot of texture, and it wasn't showing up the way I wanted. So that one is in the trash, and then I went to strictly a monotone so that I could concentrate on textures, and I like this way.
What mediums are you trying?
Okay, this was all watercolor. This is on Arches 300-pound paper, and I had like a whole list of watercolor techniques or texturing things that I wanted to try, but you need to try them not on your painting that it might work or might not work. So that's what I use this as, is a way to try out a lot of different things. This right down here is, this is water resist, but you know how you normally put it to regular paper and then paint over it? This one, I read somewhere that somebody did, dropped their watercolor resist into wet paint. So then it gets that kind of more lacy edge than the straight when you put it onto a dry paper. So something that has always been said that you shouldn't do worked out well. So otherwise I did some salts, and down here is watercolor ground that I put on first. So it's got like you can actually feel this texture. If you were making like a stucco wall or something, the real texture is actually there.
Okay, I had you on, no, I had you on gallery view so I could see it close. What is water resist?
Well, using like a Frisket or whatever, but instead of putting it on dry paper, you're putting it on the wet watercolor, letting it dry, and then putting your other color over it. And then, so then when you peel off the resist, this part, when you peeled off the Frisket, I don't ever know what to call it.
Yeah, masking fluid.
Yeah, then it was more a little fuzzier type edging, instead of like when you normally put it on dry paper and then you pull it off, you have like very severe lines. So this like got rid of that severe line idea.
Obviously, you were hoping to do a lot of texture with the first one, but the colors didn't work for you?
Yeah, I think a lot of things that you do texture in, you really need that deep dark color to get that texture to show. And so like the things on my first one, they just really didn't show up, or if they did, they didn't look how I wanted them to look. So that was a good way of knowing that. I mean, you have to keep practicing things, obviously, in different colors. but the darker colors seem to work better for the resisting things.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying not to comment each time. That's fantastic. And now I want to try that. The way all the different things all pull together into one, using all the textures, it looks realistic but modern. I don't know. Do you have anything else to say, or everybody else want to unmute? And
I loved it.
I absolutely loved it.
Can you hold it up one more time?
Yeah.
you can turn to gallery view, and when she talks, you can see it closer in the way upper right-hand corner.
All the different textures.
See where it says speaker view?
Yeah, yeah.
Or it says, if you hit speaker view and she's just talking, you can see it closer. Can you sing a song, Barbara, while you hold it up?
Yeah, so I tried alcohol, I tried water resist, I did dry brushing, I did a fan brush, I did salt, plastic wrap.
You know, just the look of it is wonderful. And all of those work so well. I just am entranced by it.
Yeah.
I was really jealous last week because everybody had lots of curves and stuff, and mine only has this one little curve up here, and it was so straight, and it's like, oh, I really like the others better.
And I think you said you were worried it was so recognizable. I don't think so anymore.
No.
Really, really neat.
I think
That's
it's,
amazing.
Very cool, Barbara.
Barbara, I think the fact that you realized that the color was a distracting element
Yeah.
and moved it to just values created this incredibly strong and beautiful piece.
Thank you. This is not my style at all, but it was fun, and this has definitely grown on me since it's been sitting here last
Well,
week.
I want to try what you did. Maybe we should put it in for next time, all different textures.
That looks like it would be a lot of fun.
Oh, I think
It came
next
out really
time's going to
good.
be 10 days.
Before we go on to the next person, can you see this outside?
It's coming down crazy.
My neighbor's bringing me some turkey soup. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. I don't know,
Flakes are-
anybody else want to go? Joyce, Sue?
Yeah, I'll
All
go.
I know isn't going to do it or say anything. Who said Sue?
Sure.
I will.
Okay, can everybody mute except Joyce?
It's very flaky out there. Large ones.
Okay. This is my closet, and this is what I chose. It's the hamper and shelves. And this is what I drew from it. And then this is the first thing that I did. But when I showed this to my daughter, and she said, "But Mom, you can see what it is," and that wasn't what the assignment was. So I did it again,
Oh.
and but obviously I don't. My head gets in the way.
Turn it.
It's not balanced. The colors are all over the place. I did try to put texture in, but
Well, you do have line in there. You do have shape. You do. Did you pick a particular color scheme?
no, I did not. There's not a particular color scheme in my closet.
Oh, oh, but you could do it any colors you want. I like your light wiggly lines. There's a lot to it. Is it watercolor?
Oh no, it's oil pastel. It's
Oh,
oil pastel with mineral spirits painted on.
Oh, okay. Did you learn anything from it, or did you? Obviously, you had problems with your daughter, but other art problems.
The problem wasn't with my daughter, it was with me. I wrote down things. I couldn't get my head to abstract. I always thought of it as my closet. And although I cut out and draw and crop the area and finished it in a real position rather than I didn't make it cockeyed. That's when my daughter asked me why I didn't follow the assignment. And I had no answer except that I guess I'm a rebel. So I redid it. It still wasn't too abstract because it was my laundry basket and I used all of the colors. And I couldn't get it out of my head that it was my laundry basket. Unlike the cupboard that we just saw. I mean, anyway.
I think this is tough for all of us. Hopefully next time Nancy will show us how not to be tough. But I think you succeeded. I don't see it as a laundry, your last one, I don't see as a laundry basket, especially if you flip it a different direction. It just looks like a non-objective painting.
Okay. That a little kid did because
No. Have you ever seen some of Paul Klee's work or, you gotta look up abstract. No, does people want to ask her questions and unmute themselves?
Joyce, what I liked is when you turned it around because then I let go of your basket too. And I think that it would be fun for you to even crop down your drawing tighter to a few lines and stuff and turn that crop around and start again. It might be fun to try.
Yeah, I will. I even cropped a different area altogether, a different thing. This was the other thing I did, and that was what I cropped, and then this is how I made it bigger, but I have not painted that one yet. You think that it's because of the medium that I'm using?
No,
I
if
mean,
you hadn't told me it was a laundry basket, I wouldn't have recognized it as a laundry basket.
Okay.
Did you feel at any point that you were just starting to enjoy the process, or did it always feel like you were fighting?
I felt like I was fighting. That and I wanted to finish it up.
I think this is good for your brain too.
Yeah, well, no doubt. Yeah. I did do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you learned stuff about yourself as an artist while you did it too.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think you're hard on yourself, but we all are.
Can you
Okay.
show it again so I can see it too? I'm sorry, I was getting my turkey soup.
Don't tell her what it is and turn it in a different direction. Yeah. Whatever direction. No, one more time or whatever. What? Ann, can you tell what it is? You weren't here.
No.
Yay!
Thank you, Anne.
Having been a teacher and kids bring me up drawings and I have no idea what they are.
And you want to say, I like your colors.
Yeah.
That's what I used to say.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, it's not a camel. Okay.
Thanks.
Maggie, you want to do it? All right, everybody want to mute yourselves in the upper right,
Okay.
except maybe because I like talking.
So this was the original drawing, which was my living room, and I chose this square, or you guys helped me choose that square. So here was the square, and then this is what came of it. So, so what I did was I drew it first, and then I switched it around and drew the opposite. So that was kind of an element of design. I don't know what it's called, but I
Symmetry.
mirrored it on each side. And I liked, what drew me was I liked the plant shape. So I tried to carry, as an element of design, I tried to carry that through and like add leaves in different places, trying to carry that that plant look. And then color scheme wise, I just liked these colors. I do have my color wheel. I was trying to pick a color scheme, but I know that this is kind of warm colors, cool colors, tertiary colors. You know, it's not one color scheme, but it is just 3 colors and black. So I don't know if I could consider that a color scheme, but yeah, and I used something I've never used before. I used these Artistica blendable water-based ink brushes. So I really was able to get the brightness that if I had used regular watercolor, I think I would have had to go over it many times to get something this bright. But you can even see, because they're water-based ink markers, they do have the watercolor feel to them, but they're bright. So I enjoyed it, and I was actually watching episode upon episode of The Crown while I was doing it on my living room floor in front of the TV. So it was very relaxing, and I didn't have to pay too much attention to it. So I really liked it.
And you're on watercolor paper?
I'm on really cheap watercolor paper, nothing good, but just
I would never see that as your room or corner. And I like the combination of the amorphous shapes with the geometric shapes. You didn't use value or form in there, which is fine, but you did use a lot of pattern and texture and, you know, contrast. And you don't do this kind of thing either, right? So
never.
What do you end up thinking about it?
It was really enjoyable. I mean, I don't really like it that much as a painting, but I liked the process, and I would do this again and maybe take more time with design element and try to do more planning using the elements of design to get something that I really liked. But that's hard for me. I don't know
I know, me too.
I was looking back at your notes saying, okay, I need this, I need this, I need value, I need texture, I need color scheme, and honestly I couldn't get them all in this.
No, you didn't need to do them all.
But I was trying, Linda. I was trying to do them all.
Obviously, yes, all of us will try. Does anybody have any questions for Maggie? You want to unmute?
I just wanted to say, Maggie, you did use a color scheme. It's called analogous colors. So that you did the 3 colors on the color wheel. You know, the green, the blue, and the yellow. They're next to each other on the color wheel, and they call them that analogous colors, and you use them beautifully.
Oh, thank you, Debbie.
And you were able to use both warm and cool within that range.
Okay.
It gives it a very garden shade, light coming through while being an abstract. You know, I get the sense of garden and shade and sun and life and structure. You know, structure and organic, all in this piece that is not, you know, is abstract or whatever we're calling it, non-representational.
Thank you so much.
It's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. The colors really jump out at you, and it's got like a tropical feel to it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that would be something very bright, but you spend hours staring at.
Yeah.
Because it brings you in.
I
You
like
just look at it. Yeah.
And the symmetry was unique.
Yeah. I love the mirror image.
I like that she used a theme of plants. That's an interesting thing. If we were to just start this over again, and yet we had to add the layer of make it look like plants, all of our paintings would be really different.
Yeah.
So if you had an abstract thought and you were just going to let it untangle as we did, you just say, make it look like food or make it plants or give it a theme. I thought that would be really funky.
I'm more than happy to let somebody take over like any day or any session if we want to keep going, because I'm sure I'm going to run out of ideas unless I call Nancy.
In other words, throw all ideas and email them to Linda.
No, Nancy. Marion, do you want to go? You're kind of up, well, you don't know you're close to Maggie.
Okay. Well,
Can everybody mute?
me too. Okay, the original picture was this one. Can you see it? And I chose this square right in there. I don't know if you can see my square, but it's this right here.
Okay.
And this is what it ended up looking like afterwards. And it's kind of like, feels like it's unfinished, but this is what I ended up coming up with. I don't know if you can.
We see good. Is how about the medium? What did we work with?
Acrylic on canvas board. Just basically acrylic. It's feels like it's unfinished. There's
Somebody got a dog?
oh yeah, she's
Oh, okay, it's you.
yeah, she's feeling her age.
Oh.
I
It's
don't know
acrylic on what? On canvas?
It's canvas board,
Yeah, okay.
and it's just
gotta make-
acrylic paint, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Yeah, turning out, we'll ask everybody afterwards which way they like you to hold it.
Yeah,
That's hot. It's hot, but it works all different directions.
I don't think it looks like the back of my rocking chair.
No. So some of the elements in there, you got some white lines, you got some values because you've got some shading and form, darker color scheme.
Basically just blue and gold, just the complementary. And unfortunately, I got a little bit of green in here, which was an accident. It wasn't planned. It was a little wet and it ended up blending instead of, it was more of a like dry brushing, you know, and I ended up blending more.
Well, I think acrylic is hard to blend for me.
So.
Well, obviously that's something you didn't like about it. Are there things you feel you learned from it or successful about?
No, it's one of those things. It's like, the more I looked at it, it's like, do I add more? Do I stop? It's like, when do you stop?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I can still see more that I could, you know, like I could just keep going.
That happens with everybody's work. Looks fine to me.
Yeah. So.
All right, does everybody want to unmute and ask her any questions?
I just unmuted. It looks like it's a sci-fi piece to me.
Yeah.
It looks spatial. And I think it looks done.
Planet here. Oh.
It just looks like it's out of space and it looks done. I don't think it looks like it needs anything more, Marion.
Looks floating, you know?
Yeah, it looks
I think so. too.
absolutely gorgeous.
I was hoping it had some movement in there.
It looks.
Yeah, I think it looks done. And it looks to me like you're looking down underwater.
There you go. The bubbles or
Bubbles and
Yeah.
or
Yeah, fish.
fishes or.
Like a fishy look or.
I love the variation in values and the way that it works. Just magical to me. I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very
I
nice.
think I could use it on the wall when I meditate.
Oh.
it does, yeah.
It looks like they're blowing in the wind to me.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
You know, this is amazing how different they all came out. I love it. You know, I love the differences. That's why I always like teaching in art. Let's see, we haven't heard from my bottom row, which is Sandy, Carol, or Ann. Anybody? All right, Sandy's
I
gonna
didn't
go.
complete it.
Okay, and I'll be honest, I did it last night. I forgot, I was so
Everybody
crazy
mute
busy.
but Sandy.
I was crazy, but all right, so I did originally my bedroom, and you can see the boxes, and I decided to go up here in this corner, which was a tapestry that I got in Belgium. And so we did this corner where I have a little curly cue of the wrought iron holder that holds the tapestry, and then a corner of the tapestry. So when I brought that up, it kind of sort of looked like this. You have the curly cue and you have the tapestry. And this is what it ended up looking like.
Ooh.
So this is what I did. It's
Okay, medium.
watercolor on hot press 140 watercolor paper.
Okay.
Not expensive paper, with a little stippling in the center here. I did some stipple.
Mm.
Wow.
Oh,
A couple little funny shapes in there.
that looks good. And the stippling is with pen, the
Micron.
Yep.
Yep.
Micron.
So you can see that there's a little stippling in there. When I first started doing the watercolor, I did the big spaces here, and I noticed that because it's not expensive. I didn't use arches. I used some cheap paper I had. It wasn't picking up my paint right. It was leaving big blotches. So I said, well, I don't like that. So I went really heavy with my watercolor afterwards to try to see what I would get with that. And
You know, that looks intentional and it kind of reflects some of the shapes in your stippling. You had some of the elements of design in there. You've got combination of some amorphous or natural shapes going along with the geometric, and they seem to work.
I stayed with the cool color.
And I like, you know, you got good diagonals in there, and you got a pattern going, and well, not only with the stippling, but and you got strong lines in there. And your color scheme, did you decide on one? Or?
I stayed with the blue, green,
Okay.
the little gray and black in there, and of course.
Yeah. When you're doing the color scheme, you can always add black and white. You know, and you've got the cools, the greens, the turquoise, the other blue in there.
Yeah, I stayed with
so
that half of my. I stayed with that half of my.
So when we talk about a color scheme, it doesn't have to be just those three colors. You can lighten, you can darken them. And when you use complement, they dull one another down. So how happy are you with this? How is it out of your range? Or, you know, did you learn anything?
This was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. I don't do abstract. I've never done anything. You know, I've been painting for less than a year, or about a year now. So to do this was like, wow, okay. I wanted to paint the rod black because it's a wrought iron hanger. I started thinking like copying the actual colors. And then I said, no, I can paint this any way I want. I had to fight like Joyce. I was fighting myself on the actual colors it should be. And then I kept saying, no. I kept looking at my paper that you said, pick tertiary colors, pick certain colors. And so I thought this. And then I decided to have a little fun with it. Then
Good.
You know, the little circles that were along the edge of the tapestry, I decided to color them a little funny and change the little circles in different directions where I painted them. And then when I got to this part that was still open white, I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to stipple those. I learned stipple the first class, and I never stippled before. And I liked it. So that's when
He's a stipple addict.
And then I put a little, couple little hearts in there. And I just had fun with it.
I think Nancy's idea of the negative space will also help you guys think a little differently, which is good for the brain. Everybody want to unmute and ask Sandy any questions? She said she just did it last night.
I like that she used what we learned in the first lesson about the stippling, because that sticks in my mind too. When I'm doing the value things, I want to stipple because I just learned that.
I liked it.
I
Sandy,
just, go ahead.
I say, Sandy, I would love to, I love the combination of the stippling with the watercolor. And I would love to see you do more pieces, just kind of playing with those two ideas.
I wanted to stipple more on top of the watercolor.
You should.
I ran out of time and arm. My
Well, you should watch The Crown.
No.
So Sandy, I think the place where you find yourself finding delight and play is the way to go. Move towards that. So if stippling in this really is where you started to really enjoy it, listen to that.
I finally said, you know what? I gotta do something different. And that's when I had fun. Yeah.
Along with that, when you've got those different values in there with the watercolor, that would be a nice lead for the stippling. I mean, darker where it is darker and lighter, just to emphasize what's already there with the way the water worked and dried, and darker, lighter. I love that.
That's a great idea. Oh, another one. All right, now we have 25 projects.
I was thinking stippling on top of the watercolor might be interesting. I ran out of time, and like I said, my arm can only do so much stippling. It gets very sore. The stippling is a process.
I have a challenge. I have a challenge for Sandy too, because she's a photographer. Go take pictures of stuff we can't recognize by what you crop.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Anybody else want to talk or go next? I lost Carol. And, even if you didn't finish something, you can show us your progress. And I don't know if you were here earlier, but we talked about, the next time is the last time. If you want to finish anything up for that last time to show us, that's fine too.
I would like to show, I'm way behind. I did this when we did the value with the black and white and then painted over it. And I did this leaf.
Oh, it's kind of dark. Okay.
Oh,
Well, that's better.
That better?
Yep.
I think it looks great.
And I'm disappointed with it because I used my new neon paint. And I think it looks kind of gimmicky. I don't know. But I tried stippling with the paint too.
Hmm.
I like those dark spots.
It doesn't look garish from here, if that's
No.
what your concern is.
I was thinking maybe I needed to go over it with glazes and just kind of tone it down. I don't know.
Or you could stipple all over like,
Parts of it I do like very much, but this is on top of the black and white. And I remember when people did that, a lot of you mentioned that you wished you had done more dark areas. I think Michelle had said that. That when she painted over it, she was wishing she had more underneath that was really dark. So I did that, but this neon paint really covered everything.
oh, and it doesn't lift back off?
No. So I did finish that assignment.
Yay! Well, you're learning something, and that's the goal of this. I know I go very fast. And next time I have to keep in mind, like the room thing we did, it took 3 meetings. So whatever I start on, I have to start on something that's almost harder so that we can get the 3 steps in from week to week while we jump around on other things and totally drive you crazy. Who are we missing? Sue, did you want to talk at all? Or I know Michelle has nothing to say. Well, that's not true. She's just been having too much fun to do the work.
Well, here's the, this is the line drawing of a little space. Oh, you can't see it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So,
Did you want us all to mute, Maggie? Yeah, okay. Can you mute everybody and we'll let her talk for a while?
well, you know, I was not very successful. I think even in the drawing, I have no curves, they're all straight, and it's just the ceiling and the window, that's all it is. So I think it's a little too nothing. So I'm gonna try it again.
Okay, I
That's
guess
it.
we're, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all I
Us,
got.
okay, we can all,
Oh, I can't hear you.
yeah, I muted myself. Okay, is that better? I think that is fine. I don't think you have to have it more complicated. Take some leads from some of the other people that added in those sections. Turn it around so you're looking at it a different way. Don't make something that would normally be dark. You know, think about adding the patterns or the texture or that, you know, who had all the texture? Barbara's texture was wonderful. Who had some patterns? Maggie had all kinds of crazy patterns in there. Or like Sandy's, just try different things in each section, where you stipple in one and let the watercolor or medium flow in another one. Just have fun. I don't think you need to. Anybody else want to talk?
Look what Marion did with hers. It's beautiful. I mean, she did have one section, right, that was curved, but all the others, she blocked it and it had the values brought up differently, Sue. I think that you could do that.
And Nancy's, she warped those straight lines to like almost bubble shaped, you know, as she went around the straight lines. So just because they're straight in your original drawing doesn't mean they have to end up straight.
Right, you could shadow those to make them look circular.
Warp them. Warp
Yeah, yeah, warp them.
Oh,
I like that,
that's
Michelle.
true.
Yeah, whoop 'em.
Warp them.
Warp them?
Warp them.
What are you saying?
Warp.
Spell it.
W-A-R-P.
Warp.
Okay.
Warp.
Warp them good.
Warp 'em.
Yeah,
A straight line and you
Whoop 'em.
know,
Whoop 'em.
warp them.
Okay, I know I have something for you to do for next time, and it will be our last meeting. So like I said, if you come up with any ideas, let us know. Oh, Carol, my God, I forgot Carol. Oh, you know what? I was going to call on you and there was an empty room. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Go, girl, we'll all mute, and even me.
I had to take that call. So sorry. Can you hear me? Okay. This is weird because I can't hear anybody talking. Okay, so this is what I ended up doing. Was this section on this, which is very difficult to see right there. Okay, and I decided on a triad for colors, yellow, orange, and blue, green, and red, violet. These were the colors that I picked. And this is what it all ended up to look like.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm unmuted so that I can ask you the medium and what ground you're working on.
Okay, it's watercolor paper, 140-pound cold press, and obviously watercolor, and I did use a little gouache. And that's about it.
Oh, keep it up there, keep it up there. So you've got, I don't know if you have lines, but you have edges in there. You have some form in there. I mean, not that you had to use everything that I suggested. I see a pattern of some sort. Right down the bottom. And
Yeah,
you've got,
there is, yeah, there's pattern there.
you've got a range of values. And that's a color scheme, again, I love that I would never think to use. What were you happy with and what did you not like about it? Of course, you tried something really hard from that little picture.
Yeah.
So what did you find success with and what did you hate?
Well, I was trying to get the darks darker, but some of them are okay and some didn't come out as much as I would have liked. And I kind of just let it flow. I didn't really concentrate on it. I just, except for using the 3 colors in various, light and dark and various values. I tried to do that, and it's okay, but it's not the greatest thing I ever produced, I would say. It's okay.
I like it, and I don't, maybe you
Thank
don't
you.
even know that, I don't know if you remember all the principles of design, but you've got movement in there, you've got rhythm in there, you've got pattern in there,
Yeah,
you've got contrast, you've got,
I did try,
everybody, go ahead.
to concentrate on that part, yes.
All right, I just unmuted to say, I ditto, Linda. You think it's not the best thing you've ever done, but I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
It's,
Eye really moves through it. You just
yeah.
kind of go, you just see the motion in it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I agree.
Well,
Carol.
before I go, everybody starts to talk again. I just want to say, I haven't said anything yet, but to each and every one of you, I think you did wonderful job, all of you. It was so enjoyable to watch.
Well, Carol,
And thank
I
you
wanna
for
say-
your nice comments.
I just want to say, when I look at that, I feel like I'm at the circus. That I don't know why.
Yeah, I did.
No, in a really good way. Like, it gives me joy. Like, it really, there's something
Yeah.
about it. It looks like an abstract from a circus tent or something. I don't know why, but that's what comes to mind for me.
I get that, Maggie. It's
Yeah.
almost like there's a
Yeah.
pole, and then there's the top of the circus top.
I
And
did.
Colors
I
are
thought
colors.
the movement was kind of what I wanted to get with that.
You
I
got
feel like it, I almost feel like it's musical. It's the colors that you picked. They're
I'll just be a minute.
beautiful colors.
Okay, go ahead and eat.
Okay.
I love it, Carol. That's really beautiful. I love the way you even changed the color around the side. I love the way, the place where you lifted the color just gives that, it just really lovely, the different things that you played with in this.
He's so
You did a
pretty on
great
silk.
job.
You know what I did change was the two, the borders. I made 2 of them alike and the other 2 alike,
Yeah.
which were, I don't know what, somehow that just worked, I thought.
Yeah. You should go with those gut instincts. They do work.
You always say that.
Yeah, you're wild, Carol.
Oh, thank you. See?
There's so much
Let it out.
in the idea that you would use 2 different border colors. That is cool.
That's not a box, Nancy. I was trying to be Nancy on that one.
Wilder than Nancy. Wow.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
We can't hear you.
I hear you.
I said, thank you, everyone.
Oh,
Thank
I-
you.
Am I not, can you hear me, Carol?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you should do it huge.
Oh, come on.
And I would be
You know
very
what I-
curious.
Put in something else. I should do it in pastel, maybe.
Oh, yeah, we have some pastel artists, abstract or not representational, I can't
Yeah.
say that word, in our group. But you know what? I would be curious if these non-representational works, if you were in a different mood, if they would come out different. You
I
know how
think
you're saying hers looks joyous and kind of fun, and I'm wondering if she had done it all in a bad mood, if it wouldn't be that way.
Well, it might have been darker.
Oh,
All right,
Well-
so
it was the colors. I wanted bright colors, and I wanted.
Maybe you could have used
wanted joy in it. The opposite of what we're all dealing with is, sadness and whatever. So I wanted to do the opposite.
good, good. All right, you ready for next time, last time's meeting?
yes.
Okay.
All right, your challenge is, and I don't have any example to show you, I want you to use something than a usual art tool to paint or draw.
Oh, okay.
So, do you want some suggestions? Or do you want to think about it all yourself? So you're not going to use a brush. If you are using pastel, you can't use the pastel directly. So some suggestions, whether you want them or not,
Yes.
could be if you're using a very liquid kind of medium, if you can draw with a stick, you could draw with a kitchen utensil, I don't know. The same thing with painting. You could use a credit card, not a palette knife, not a brush. You can actually paint with your finger. You can stamp with your finger if you want to make your lights and darks. You could stamp with just about anything you could find a stamp with if you've got a liquid media. Or maybe if you've got a pastel or a dry media, you might be able to put it on something and use it, like a sponge or.
I was just gonna say, could you use like a sponge to use, instead of a brush or?
Yeah, sure.
What kind of painting are we painting?
It doesn't matter what your subject is. I would suggest that probably, if you're going to draw with a stick or something that's you don't have a lot of control over, you might rather do something more organic than geometric. Unless you want, that crooked man that walked the crooked mile, that live in the crooked house, maybe a building would come out neat, kind of crooked.
Does it have to be one tool, or can we use a multitude of tools?
Go for it. You can use a multitude of mediums if you want.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be representational. God, I can't talk anymore.
Did it. You got it. You got it.
Anybody, any thoughts, any suggestions, or?
Is this
I have seen people do portraits just with their finger. Either they put pastel or ink or whatever they do on their finger, and they do a portrait that way.
Yep.
Not easy, but.
We have people down here that use windshield wipers.
That sounds like Amanda.
Nancy's done that.
There you go, Michelle, go for it.
Big canvas, yeah, they use windshield wipers. They go to Home Depot and get their painting tools. They get the big things that you plaster walls with. And
Nancy, what would you use?
This is what I use this tool right here. It is a stamp to make a kind of a wood grain looking thing, but it is in a lot of my paintings. Let me show you one right here. And it just is an element that I use a lot. Here's one painting right here that has it.
Okay, wow.
Yep.
Oh, that's so cool. Love.
So that's just using a tool. I also use this scraper a lot. You can see it's well used. But when you're doing this kind of a painting, that's all I used until I put the turquoise in.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't use something you'd normally use, like a brush or a palette knife or a crayon or
At all.
Or a micro.
No, the whole painting, you can't use anything normal.
Right.
Okay.
All right. I have to go. Pancakes are waiting, but I'll see you all next week.
All
right,
right.
Debbie.
Thanks, Deb.
Hi, Debbie.
Anybody else, any questions, comments, complaints? I'm amazed by some of the stuff that came out of here.
Linda,
It's all going into the art show live if we ever have one.
I've thoroughly enjoyed this. If people want to put their paintings up, I can take a picture of everything that people have done today. If you want to hold it up like this.
Oh, okay. You want that, Maggie? Oh, who did we just miss? Oh, Debs. We missed Debs.
Debbie left.
I missed them.
Oh, I'm not very proud of mine.
Joyce, cut it out and put it up. Up,
Okay, bye, Michelle. Don't just put your drawing, otherwise we're gonna see you. Your
Oh,
face.
I know. Hold on.
Or
Hold
put it
on.
in
Something
there.
I'm working on.
Hang on, everybody, hang on.
Whoop.
Okay.
Nope, not yet. Sorry.
Sue, do you have anything to put up, the picture?
I know.
No, I just have this pad in front of me with those
That-
lines.
That's okay, that'll work. Otherwise, she's gonna post your face.
Oh, no. Not today, please.
Okay, I got something.
I was.
I'll
Okay.
send it to Maggie.
And also,
Thank
if
you.
anybody wants to send me a picture of theirs, I can post it. I'll wait. I'll give you until tomorrow, after like noon time. That'll give you plenty of time to just quick take a picture and send it to me.
Okay, I'll let Deb know.
And if I don't get it, then it doesn't get posted.
Whoa.
Or it gets
What is
posted
Sandy
late.
taking
Or it gets posted late.
All right, this was very enjoyable.
It
Now I
was.
think I need to go shovel.
All right.
Oh, yeah.